cracking, guys? My name's Nathan. Back to another episode of Shifting Minds. This is week 5. Last week was basically how to find your why, or what is your why. And we put up a Facebook post the other day on our new Facebook page, Shifting Minds. If you haven't been over there already, go check it out. We left a Facebook post up there asking some people what you guys would like to see, where we'd like to go with this channel, and how we can best support you guys. So Chloe, actually, she's one of our followers. She's been in contact with me and Steve for a while. And yeah, she's come up with a really good topic. And what is that, Steve?
We're going to talk about not letting your past dictate your future, and also learning from your past and your mistakes and that, because we all make mistakes, and learning from that and making sure that we go in a better direction and we don't make the same mistakes twice. So we're going to talk about our personal experiences with this, and then we'll also give you a couple of hints and tips on how to improve your future by not letting your past hold you back. Yeah. So if you want to kick it off, Nathan, with a little bit about your past and why learning from your past is so important moving forward.
All right, cool. Well, look, I think we're all about quotes when it comes to Shifting Minds, right? We're all about quotes, and it's something that I've been trying to apply to my life ever since my mum passed away, basically, right? Going through those motions, day in, day out. It was a lot to handle, and something that I try to remind myself every day was this quote that I read, and it's like, you can't move to the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last chapter. And I saw a lot of value in that. I saw a lot of power in that, because I was like, well, if I'm continuously replaying why I'm so upset about this grief and why I'm going through these emotions, if I keep replaying it, I'm not going to move out of it, right? And it comes to another quote, actually, which I like as well, is when walking through hell, just keep walking. Because if you stop walking, guess where you stay? In hell. Huge, right? And it makes sense. There's a fly buzzing around in here. He's killing me. Each way. Look, those two quotes were something that I found a lot of power in for my own personal, venture, into the person that I wanted to be. And I thought that was a good goal to have looking into the future, right? And those things that were happening around me, those things that I didn't have control over, were consuming me, right? They were. And those things, I didn't want to let those things become my way of life, my lifestyle, who I am, why that overarching glue of why we do everything we do. I didn't want that to be why I wasn't the person I didn't want to, that I didn't want to be. If that makes sense, right? So I guess does that make sense? I hope it does. I guess what I'm trying to say there is I didn't want to let those things that I couldn't control define me, right? I didn't want that. That's not what I wanted. And for some time, it's what was happening. It's exactly what was happening. And I guess moving forward from that, I've talked about this a lot on my own personal social media platforms, and that's being the person that you want to be, being the person that you would like to meet, and being the person that you would like to attract into your life, right? It's like, if you met you, would you like you? That kind of question, right? That's a huge one. When you actually answer that question truthfully for yourself, you're like, I'd hate to hang around me. I would hate to hang around me. I'm angry. This was back then, of course, right? I'm angry. I'm upset. I don't engage with anyone. I sit there I don't want to speak. I'm looking at the floor. I wasn't a happy person. And I think anyone who's angry would agree that, they most likely either notice that people don't want to approach them because they're like, everyone's like, whoa, man, chill out, bro. I don't want to invade your space there in case you get angry at me. You're already angry enough. And when you create that environment for yourself, that's what you emit around you in your own space. And that was crazy. That realization was huge for me. And I didn't want to let all of what had happened to me, right, dictate my future. I wanted to find this middle ground where I could go, okay, what do I need to remove from my life, or what do I need to add to my life? And they're hard questions. When you're going through those types of things, when you're in the moment, it's hard. and I get it. Like, I get it. It's hard to see things, I guess, logically or practically when you're emotionally challenged. It's freaking heavy. It's heavy. Anyone would agree with that. I'm sure of that, right? But it takes a process, and the process is your process. Like, whatever feels right is what I would suggest to just try. If that means buy a pair of bloody roller skates and go skating along the beach once a week just to see how it goes, take that action and do it. You never know. It might just be the one thing that pulls you out of your slump. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, man, like, I just spent some more time getting on my BMX bike that I hadn't ridden in like years. And that was a BMX bike that my mum bought me. It's a sentimental item to me. I just took it down to the skate park and just rolled around. I wasn't really talking to anyone at this stage yet. I was just rolling around, having a good time, doing some tricks and stuff, doing what I used to do. And I loved it. I was like, man, this is sick. And then I was like, this is my domain. This is my sanctuary. I remember I used to love this place. I started speaking to some people. How long you been riding, bro? How long you been skating? Gathering all these people together, and we're all like having a good ride session together. And I was like, look what I just did. I came and did something that made me happy, and I'm making other people happy because they're happy to be here, and we're in an environment that we're all happy to be in. And that's what I started doing for myself. And I guess my tip at this point, so it's not super, super, super long-winded, is to move forward towards something that you have found happiness in the past, and just start with that. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to move forward into something completely unknown straight off the bat. If you find a bit of happiness, that's going to drive you to continuously keep looking for something that makes you happy. And I think that's like the first step. Put that on silent. The first step is to be open with yourself and be super honest with those heavy questions. And they're hard to hear from yourself. They're freaking hard to hear. But when you're honest, that's where, yeah, dude, like, and that's where it starts. Like, and look, that's where it started for me, in my opinion. And look, I can only vouch for having spoken to professionals and really opening up, letting it out. If you keep it in, that's where it stays. If you just talk about it and get it out, man, it goes. It starts to flow out, right? So, look, I don't know if you can relate to that in any way, Steve. I don't know if you want to share a little bit about your story, man, and you know, what's some things like that you've struggled with, and what kind of actions did you take in order to pull yourself out of that kind of rut or that slump, man?
Yeah, look, it's I do agree with everything you said there, Nathan, and one of the biggest takeaways from that little spiel is that you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be willing to not bullshit yourself, like
exactly.
And writing that down sometimes can be a really effective way of getting to the end, to your root cause, because that is what you need to find. All right, and we'll probably run over a little exercise that actually that another team member did a video on the other day, and I seen it and I thought, I've got to put this in here because it's a really good tool. So we'll save that for the end, but it'll help with this process of finding the root cause of what's making you unhappy, and also finding the root cause of what makes you happy, so that you can start shifting your mindset and shifting your lifestyle towards something that's going to make you more happier. So for me, for those who don't know, both me and Nathan, I think this is why we're good together, because we're similar in a lot of ways, but we're also completely different in a lot of ways. Like, Nathan's single, and he's doing his things, obviously, you know, about 10 years younger than me as well. And I'm married and I've got 3 kids, and we've got a completely different life in that respect, but we think very alike, so that's why we get along. But for me, I had kids really young, and I've really been on struggle street pretty much my whole life, and realizing that I just become comfortable being broke and living week to week, and it really ruined my mindset, and I didn't really have one. I just accepted that that's the way it was, and I blamed myself and blame others for my situation, and never really took responsibility for everything that goes on in your life is your own fault, and it's from decisions that you've made in the past. So that's a big thing. You need to really take responsibility for your current situation. If you've got no money, or you live in a life that you don't like, or you work in a job you don't like, you're there because of the decisions you made. So and realizing that is powerful in my opinion, because then all of a sudden you can stop whinging and complaining about and blaming others, and realize, well, the only person that can get me out of this and help me shift my mind is me. And every decision that I make is going to affect my life in some way, shape or form. And if you are constantly letting your past, what's happened to you in the past, dictate your decisions you're making for the future, then it's never really going to get any better. And
so good, man.
That was a big realization for me, was, right, I'm not happy with my current situation. I'm not happy with my income. I'm not happy with my job. And I'm not happy with the person that I've become, being grumpy, very snappy with the kids, a bit of a pain to live with, for my partner, the whole lot. Like I wasn't happy with any of it. And I realized that once I had that realization that the person that I'd become was my fault from decisions that I'd made, not anyone else's fault, I was able to start changing it by making decisions not dictated to by what had happened to me previously in my life. And a big shift for me was around financial struggles, because that has probably been the biggest factor of my negative mindset and my negative life to date, prior to me making the shift. And so for me, financially, I had to stop thinking about a scarcity around money and change my whole mindset around money. And we'll probably go into that in a future episode about how to do that. Yeah. But once you do that and then start making decisions based on a brighter future, it can really help you dig yourself out of that hole. And you just need to understand that it doesn't matter how bad your situation is, you can change it. It doesn't matter how, how bad it looks. Like whether, I've been in a big deep hole with debt and feelings and anxiety and stress and depression and all of that. I've been there, and I know, Nathan, you've suffered from a bit of that yourself. And most people have, to be honest, in some way, shape or form. Some are worse than others, I understand that. 100%. But once you can start to, that's why we do this, and that's why we started this, because people don't understand that just by changing the way you think can change all of that. It can change everything. Don't you agree, Nate?
100%, bro. 100%.
It's powerful, everything that happens in our lives and every decision that we make is all from up here. And if you're telling yourself the wrong things and you're focusing on the wrong things, I say it all the time, I love this saying, what we focus on expands. And I'm a firm believer of that. If you are in a negative mindset, it is a vicious cycle that is very hard to get out of. But I'm telling you right now, if you work on it and you apply some of the things that we've spoken about in previous episodes and in future episodes, and also just be open to realizing that you are in control of your own destiny, fate, whatever you want to call it. You're in control. Don't let anyone else control your future. It's all up to you. So that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah. That was a good. I was really interested in listening there, man. That was awesome. It was great insight, man. I think really, really good. Like, dude, I'm proud of you, bro. That's like knowing just where you've been from and watching your growth as we've got to know each other, man, over the last 5 months now. Like, dude, that's incredible. Like, look at the type of person you are, man. Like, think about it. Like, this is the way I look at it. When I was in the trade, my mind couldn't expand to anything like this because I couldn't have a conversation like this with anyone. And look, it's not to say that they're lesser or they're not advanced or anything like that. It's just I just don't felt I never felt an environment comfortable enough to have those conversations, and that's what kept me in my shell too. When you have an environment,
not only that, man.
What-
Not
sorry.
only that, we don't get taught. We don't get taught any of this stuff.
No, we
Like,
don't.
It's not in schooling system to learn how to love yourself and self-care and all that. It's there's a negative light on that stuff. There's you get labeled as selfish.
Exactly.
Right? If you take time to look after your own mental state, your physical state, everything, if you spend time investing into yourself, whether it be through reading books, talking to people, surrounding yourself with like-minded people, trying a job that's out of the norm, whatever it is, if you do something for yourself, society's labeled that as you're a selfish person, and that's something that we really need to change because as a society. Because if everyone actually spent a little bit more time working on themselves, people would be a lot more happier, and people would not be hurling abuse at people. And what's going on in the world right now is really highlighting the bad side of human nature and every man for himself mentality. And I honestly think that that's because a lot of people are unhappy with themselves and they don't understand that it all starts with them.
What we do now in the online space, like I'm wholeheartedly like lay it down that I'm here to fucking help people, right? I'm here to help people to better their mindset, to better their life. We're both trying everything. We're both giving our all to this, and that's all it takes. It just takes to have a go at something and believe in it. And we're bouncing off each other. Like you said, we're different people really, but we click because we're able to share this. And the fact that we're in a comfortable zone within this Zoom call, this video call, even though we're broadcasting it, it's a comfortable place for us to go, you know what? We can lead people into this. We can help people to see that we're trying to set an example here, and we're just two regular ass dudes. You know what I mean?
And I think too, because of our differences, we're in age and also lifestyle. Like you're single, you don't have any kids. I'm married, I've got kids. We can reach a lot wider audience because hopefully the people that are watching this relate with us. They'll either, the younger generation and the ones that don't have partners and kids will resonate with Nathan, and vice versa with the people that have families and have kids. But there's so many people out there that need to hear the message that we're trying to spread, and because it's super powerful once you start applying these skills. So I want to have a quick chat about a technique that someone else in the team brought up. I've seen a video on it, and it's probably a little bit to do with our last episode about our why, but also
Alicia's video.
Yeah.
But man, how good was that? I was stoked when she showed me that. I was like, yes, woman, yes, love it.
So it's about asking yourself why 5 times essentially, and writing it down. And I think we did talk about it a little bit in one of our episodes before, but it's super powerful. And I think if you can, it enables you to dig down to the actual reason of why you're making the decisions that you are, or why you're feeling the way that you are, or why you want to make a goal around something. You need to find the reason why. And let's face it, most of the time when we ask ourselves a question of why did I do this, the first response is not the real reason.
Yeah,
and
it's not sugarcoating to make ourselves feel as best we can.
Yeah, so this technique will help you do that. So essentially, if you get a notebook and write down whatever it is that you're wanting to find the root cause of. So maybe it might be, I don't know, let's use an example of why I'm not happy with my current job. Use that as an example, okay? So that's your question to yourself. Like, this is to yourself. You don't have to share it with anyone. This is you personally. Sit down and write it and be truthful to yourself, because it won't work if you lie to yourself. And if you're lying to yourself, then you've got bigger dramas. Well, I mean, it can be, everyone's answer is going to be different to this, but I mean, for me personally, I went through this in not this exact form, but I went through it when I was trying to find out why I wasn't happy. So my question to myself was, why can't I find fulfillment and happiness from a job, from my job? Because I'd worked so hard to get to a point in my trade career, and I finally got there, and I was empty. I wasn't happy, and I wasn't happy with it. So that was my question to myself: was why am I unhappy with this situation? And then my first answer was, I've got to commute a lot, or I don't. I don't know. It was hard for me to answer that question, but I know once I got through all the bullshit excuses and actually dug right deep down, it was essentially I'd lost the passion. And it was hard for me to admit to myself, because I'd worked for 19 years building to what I got to, and then I finally got there, and then I felt like I'd wasted 19 years of work, of my life. And but I wasn't able to get to that answer by that wasn't my first answer. I come up with all the excuses. Oh, it's the boss. The boss, I don't like the boss. And then I'm like, well, why don't I like the boss? Well, because the boss makes me work long hours. Well, why don't I like long hours? Well, because I'm never at home with my kids or whatever. And just keep going until you actually get to a reason that actually strikes a chord in you and gets you a little bit emotional, and you're probably getting pretty close to the reason why, your real reason why you're unhappy, or whatever it is, whatever that question is. So that's my take on it. Nate, if you want to roll with a bit.
That's cool. I just guess, like you said, when it really strikes that chord that you said,
yeah,
that's when you start and going, okay, so if I've lost the passion for this, that literally just that steers you in the direction of, I need to find something new.
What's next?
Exactly. What's next? That's your next question. And then it's
and you can do that. You can use the same principle.
Exactly.
Like, where do I go from here? And then, what am I looking for in my new job? Oh, I'm looking for more time. All right, sweet. Why am I looking for more time? Well, because I want to spend more time at home with my kids and less time at work, working for someone else, or whatever it is. Or, I want to lose some weight. Why do I want to lose some weight? Well, because I don't like the way I look. Why don't I like the way I look? Because, this and that. You know what I mean? Like, you can use this concept for anything, whether it's
break it down, man.
Whether it be about work, fitness, the way you look, bloody where you want to go on holidays, why do you want to go there? Why? What do you want to see? You use this for anything.
Exactly.
And it really highlights your actual real reasons. And if it doesn't, then at least you've got 5 reasons why you should or should not do whatever it is you want to, whatever you're trying to find out.
Yeah, I love it. And, I'm just trying to find a way to relay that back to the original topic of this video. We do ramble, that's what happens. But each way, I think it's very valuable that Steve's gone down that road, because it was Alicia. Alicia, she's a member of our team, and she's quite a young woman, and she's just got a quality mind on her shoulders. She does, and I think she's super headstrong. She's ambitious, and she's gonna kick major goals doing what we do in the online space. And I think just in life in general, she's gonna impact people on a positive level. And I'm super stoked to have met her. Basically, she's awesome. And look, I guess, trying to apply that to not letting the past define us, I think that question process is asking yourself all of the stages of the past leading up to now, and that's your answer. Like, that's like, okay, holy shit, like this is now, like, what decision am I making right now to avoid all of that crap that I just mentioned that's happened to me, that's not even the real reason that I want to make a change. It's all part of it, but the real reason is down the bottom, and you've just gone, man, like I can't let all that stop me from doing what this next venture is going to be, and
100%, 100%, man.
That's where it lays up to, I think. And it's like, like when it's a breakthrough experience. Like you probably heard every entrepreneur you've ever spoken about or ever heard them speak, say something to do with a breakthrough. That experience, and it's an experience. It's not just a thought. It happens. It has to happen to set it in concrete. Action.
Yeah.
Thoughts.
And I think the big thing too, for a lot of people that especially might have had a less than desirable past, you know what I mean? Whether it be something that's happened to you or multiple things that have happened to you, like whatever it is that's happened in your past, doesn't mean you don't deserve a better future. Doesn't mean you can't build a better life. And whether it's been, you know, emotional or physical or financial, whatever it is, everyone's had something bad happen in their past, and you need to learn from that. And it might have not even been your fault.
That's right.
You know, a lot of the times it's something external that's happened, or something that was out of your control. But still, it doesn't dictate what your future is going to look like. You deserve a better future. Everyone deserves to be living their best life, and holding on to the past is the best way to not live your best life.
100%.
And
I think
let go.
I think all of that negative stuff that happens to us, actually going through a process of asking ourselves these questions, creates a framework to actually build on. Because without those things, we don't really get to that breakthrough. So I kind of look at it now, I look back and I think, like, as hard as it is to say and how crap it is, like, I'm glad I went through that crap, because it helped to build me to a point where I'm like, if I never went through it, I probably wouldn't have seen the value in half the things that I've now ventured into, basically.
100%, man.
It's such a clear vision, as hard as it is.
I think the last point that we're going to make on that, which is virtually, we'll wrap it up now.
Yeah,
but,
probably should.
is any person, one of the biggest things I've learned since coming into here and starting to research successful business people, successful entrepreneurs, successful actors, whoever it is, successful people, and really study what they do, how they do it, why they do it, how they got to where they were. One common thing that I've seen in nearly every single successful person is they all had a really pretty upbringing. They'd all had something bad happen in their life, whether it be losing a family member or being broke, living on the street, being homeless, whatever it is, like a really bad situation. And they've actually used that power, that hurt, to drive them and to get them to success. And I think if you can do that, you, instead of doing the poor me and why me and all of that stuff, or why does everything bad always happen to me and all that, and change that. And again, it's all up to do with up here. It's the way you look at things and the way you perceive things. If you can change that and go, well, and either use the hurt or the pain from that situation and go, I don't want to feel that pain ever again, or I don't want to be in that situation ever again. I don't want to be in that financial position where I can't afford to put food on the table ever again. And use that to drive you as a positive force. I think you're unstoppable. Would you agree?
100%, bro. 100%. 100%.
Awesome.
Well, look, that was a good wrap up, Steve. That was a really good wrap up. I guess we came into this thinking, hey, it might just be a pretty short episode this week, but you know what? We obviously had a good bit of value to just steamroll off the top of our heads, which is good. And look, we try to come into these just, you know, pretty casual. Like sometimes we keep some notes and stuff, but I don't want to keep this like making it super formal. Like, this is just us. We're just doing our thing. And look, we're just trying to get this rolling off the top of our head, because not only does it help you guys, but it actually helps to reinforce all the stuff that we've learned to ourselves too, just by speaking about it. You know, the more we speak it into existence, the more it is in our lives. And that's what we're doing here. So look, thanks so much for tagging along with this week 5 video, guys. I hope there's some value in it for you guys. I know Steven's story is really, really gripping. I was again, bro, super proud of you, man. No joke, super proud of you, Steve. You're
yeah, thanks, man. And I love sharing this, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are going through similar things. A lot of people going through financial hardship. There's a lot of people going through mental struggles, and I want to get this message out there. So if you like our message, if you like it, please share it, subscribe, hit the little bell, do all that good stuff. You know what you need to do if you like this stuff. And also, if you are not a part of our Facebook Shifting Minds page, jump over there, join the group as well. And also, we're going to make it really interactive, and we're going to try and do what we did this week and get each week's topic from you guys. from you guys, because this is what we want to talk about, something that's going to help you. And I hope, Chloe, this has helped or highlighted some of the things that you wanted highlighted. And I know there would be other people that would have got some value out of that. So thank you very much. Episode 5 done and dusted. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you.